Fantasy players, back to the weekly updates. This is going to be a short one because it's just a normal update. So let's start with last week. Right off the bat, game of the week, Zack Attack versus Got Jilk. Head honchos going at it, and Aaron Rodgers let me down. 3 points? 4 points? Something like that? I don't know. Anyways, I'm thinking about trading him now. I don't know. We'll see how he does this week. Anyways, Zack Attack lost, so Got Jilk is now in sole leadership by a 2-game lead in the East. So good for them. Similarly, in the West, Killer Tomatoes has a 2-game lead on the top, which is still mind-boggling to me. But one of those teams is going to lose next week. I'll talk about that later. Next up, some pretty good matchups from last week. Some stuff you did not see coming. For example, Reno Rush got their first win. Congratulations. Only took halfway through the season to get it, but they finally got their first win. Hook'em, still not so lucky, 0-8. But the one that everyone's talking about, the replacements, 180 points. Set the record, I think, for the league. I'm pretty sure there was 179 a few years ago, but I think 180 set the record for the most points in a regular season win by any team. So congratulations to replacements. Not only did it boost them up quite a bit, it also moved them to the top of the true rankings in the league. So they're sitting pretty now. They are tied with Zack Attack with a 5-3 record, but right now they're holding the second seed in the East. Another big one, bye week beat BK. So both Zack Attack and BK, who I said last time were in the top 1 echelon, both lost. So now they're back in the thick of things with the rest of the pack. Got Jilk and Killer Tomatoes are the only ones that are really safe right now. So those are the big games from last week. All right, moving on to this week. Okay. So, some big matchups this week, but one that is king of them all, and it's pretty obvious which the game of the week is going to be. The replacements, I'm sorry, just kidding. Killer Tomatoes versus Got Jilk. Number 1 in the East, number 1 in the West. Both teams only have 1 loss. One of those teams is going to lose and get a second loss. And that's going to be a big deal because the team that wins will probably keep at least a 2-game lead in their division and cruise for the first place position going into the playoffs, which everyone knows is a great place to be as long as you don't get jinxed. Killer Tomatoes. So that's the big game. Some other big games. I'd say just underneath that game you have Zack Attack and Blue Bayou. Both teams now 5-3. Both teams holding the number 3 seed right now in their divisions. A loss would move either one of these teams out of playoff contentions currently. They could always come back into a playoff position, but it would move them out of the playoff spot for the time. A win would put them pretty comfortable coming down the stretch. So this is a big game between Zack Attack and Blue Bayou. Other big games, BK and the replacements. This is another huge one. So the replacements holding down number 2. BK was in the number 2 spot last week, and with their loss, slid all the way from number 2 down to number 5. Number 2 sliding all the way down out of the playoff spots. BK needs a huge win here. The replacements sitting tied with Zack Attack and the Shirleys and the Aztec for Life being right on our heels. Both those teams desperate for a win. So, recap, game of the week, Got Jilk and Killer Tomatoes. Winner is going to be set up for Golden. Loser's still going to be fine, but it's just not going to be as comfortable. Zack Attack, Blue Bayou. Winner looking good. Loser sliding out of the playoff spot. Same thing, BK and replacements. Both those teams really need a win. So that's some highlights going on. Brady's Bozos, Bills. Bills not looking good. Brady's Bozos really needs to clean up this week. They can't afford to let one slide. So, and then Aztec for Life, same thing against Reno Rush. Aztec for Life knocking on the door for the playoffs. They need to get this win. So we'll see if maybe there's some updates or upsets. We'll see. It's crazy every week. This is really getting down to the point where you really have to dig deep into your bench because there's so many injuries, and waiver wires are just so tough in a league with 20 teams or 18 teams. So good luck to everyone except Blue Bayou. You're going to lose, and I'll give you another update next week.